Hey everyone, welcome back to this episode of I Got This, the Universal I, with me, Ayse Hogan, visionary and strategist of IAUSM, the International Academy of Universal Self-Mastery. Today I have with me one of the authors of From Bottom to Top. And for those of you just tuning into this podcast for the first time, From Bottom to Top is a book. It's a compilation of 40 authors. And what we're talking about is those moments in our lives where each of us hit our bottom. Each of us hit that place where we felt lost, where we felt raw, where we felt naked, maybe didn't know which way was up at that point. And, you know, those of you that have been there or are there can relate, I'm sure. And the purpose of the book is really to show people that there are options. There are ways that you can save your life. And, you know, being in this time of COVID, it's been scary for people. There's been a lot of fear. Suicide rates are through the roof. And people feel like they don't have options. So let's talk about those options just a little bit right now. But right now, what I'd like to do is introduce you to Fred. Oh, I'm going to screw this up. It's always the last name, DiDomenico. DiDomenico. I knew it. DiDomenico. How are you doing, Fred?
Great. Thanks for, number one, giving us the opportunity to be an author in the book and being able to chat with you today.
Thank you. And thanks for being here today. I just, I love talking to everybody. I love, and I just got the manuscript for the book. So as you know, I've got to go through and start reading everyone's stories. It's pretty exciting. So Fred, before we talk about the bottom, let's talk about you heading to your top. Where are you right now in your life? What are you doing with your life right now?
Well, I'm a chiropractor and I don't practice anymore. So I coach chiropractors. So this is probably one of the most crucial times because chiropractic is a healthcare system. It's not about back pain. The spine and nervous system is the foundation of health and life in the body, right? And there's a whole new science called neuroimmunology that you don't hear about on CNN or you're not going to see on mainstream media, that the nervous system and the immune system are almost considered one system. And so now, and the reason I say this is there's all these fears and people are running out and putting, taking the jab in their arm and trying to seek protection and safety and health when we already have a God-given immune system that already gives you permanent immunity. You don't need, guess what your booster is? When you're exposed to it and you make more antibodies. How about that? There's your booster. And so we have all you have to do is walk outside and you're getting a booster every day, baby. You know, so hug a few people and there's your booster. So because we already have our body's natural ability to heal. And so that is a big purpose in helping people gain confidence in their health, as well as the book, You're More Powerful Than You Think, and the whole spiritually based coaching system that helps people tap into their innate divinity, clear their past, and then discover, live, and fulfill their soul purpose. And that's how I became involved in IAUSM. So we're about to launch that out into the general public. I think there's two things that the world needs the most. One is always the same, which is a strong spiritual foundation and rooting. And then two, a healthcare system that actually works. Yes,
absolutely. I hear that. Now you said something there, which is really, I'm a big hugger, so those people who actually are in my life and they know that I'm a big hugger. And I've always, when I hug people too, I have to do the 6-second hug. Right? It has to be 6 seconds minimum, because that's when we release the oxytocin, that feel good chemical in our body. And it's so funny now when we couldn't hug for a long time, like, people were telling us we couldn't hug. And now, a friend will visit and she'll come in and she'll look, friend or, one of my friends will walk in here. She'll be like, can we hug? It's like we're doing something wrong behind the scenes. Hugs are gifts now. It's like, they were always gifts, but now they're big gifts. And it's like, can we hug now? You're looking around to see who's watching. So it's really interesting how our hugs have changed.
Yeah, and this whole thing has really brought out personality types, right? Because you see that there is a distinct obvious difference between the people that are rule followers and the people that aren't, right? The independents versus the rule followers, because the rule followers would ask permission. The independent people, independent thinkers, just go give you a hug. They're like, hey, I'm not changing for the world, man. This is who I am, right? So you see the dichotomy of the people that, well, are we allowed to do this versus I'm not letting anybody tell me what to do.
Yeah, it's been an interesting thing. And also, like, even just just staying on this for a second, is even I found really interesting was grocery shopping. Right. You go grocery shopping and everybody's wearing their masks and stuff. And some people, they're trying really hard to make eye contact with you because they just want contact of some kind. Right. And then other people who look at you like you're holding a gun to their head, like, stay away from me because you could kill me. Kind of, that feeling of it's weird. I feel like when I go shopping, it's a little less like that now. But at the beginning, I felt like I was walking through a Stephen King novel.
Yeah.
It was just so out there. I'm like, here I am in Castle Rock trying to do my shopping, waiting for Stephen King to come down the aisle.
Well, I must have been like Freddy Krueger because I never wore a mask. So probably.
Well, you know what? In Canada, it was different. I guess in the US, I know a lot of the states you didn't have to.
No, you were supposed to. Yeah. No, I didn't wear one anyway.
So when you hit your bottom, when that moment, now I'm going to ask you not to divulge too much of your chapter because we definitely want people to read the book. But when you were at your bottom, whatever that was, did you think you would be doing what you're doing right now? Well,
I would say because I have two purposes now. When I was in my early 20s, I was an undergraduate at college. I was a pre-med student, but I didn't want to be a medical doctor. I was bartending and doing a bunch of crystal method dreams to stay up at night and get my homework done and just basically to party my ass off. And so I was praying what I should do. And then chiropractic school sent me a postcard and I threw it away. Chiropractors don't know anything. They sent me a second one, threw it away. Chiropractors are stupid. They sent me a third thing. And then I know if I pray for something, I get 3 signs that God's talking to me. So right there I was confused, didn't know where to go, doing a bunch of drugs, bartending, paying my way through school. And with that third postcard, I knew I was going to be a chiropractor. I quit on the spot doing drugs, never had a withdrawal symptom, and went to be a chiropractor because I found my purpose.
Right.
And that's really what it is people are distressed because they don't know what their purpose is, which is why I wrote the book. And then the second bottom was watching my wife take her last breath. I was already coaching chiropractors by now. My second wife died of cancer. She took her last breath, and that was a tidal wave of emotion. But now I had already been divorced. Now I'm a widow. This was my second marriage. And the bottom was, I just wanted to have an amazing marriage one day. I just wanted to meet the most amazing woman that I could have the most amazing, loving relationship. Because at that point, I realized the only thing we have in our life is love.
Yep.
We had money, we had a nice home, we had all this, but now she didn't have her life, right? And so I began on this, and there was only one way to go. I knew I had to become the most amazing man to find that the most amazing woman would choose. And then I just made a decision and started on this. That was the catalyst. And there was when you're at the bottom, there's only one way to look, and that was up. And I began this accelerated spiritual evolution that eventually 5 years later, I still haven't met the woman I'm spending the rest of my life with, but the 6-step system of healed to be able to tap into your innate divinity, clear of your past, and find your soul purpose came on me in 2009. So it's 2021 now. And then I knew I had to live it to write it, and I had to teach it. So it took me 9 years to write that book. I had to live it. It was an amazing transformational experience.
Yep.
That I give all the credit to that. Now, God, I asked for it. God gave it to me. When you knock, there will be an answer, right?
Always an answer. Yes.
Yeah. So that was my answer. And it took a decade to go through. I've been teaching it for 12 years. Now I have the online system on IAUSM, and I know absolutely that people will go through that. I can guarantee it will create a total transformation in your consciousness.
That's awesome. So when somebody, awesome, an awesome change in IAUSM, absolutely. So when somebody reads your chapter, when somebody reads it and what is your desire? What is your hope that they walk away with?
I think you just said it. I think that they walk away with hope. I think the most powerful reference point is that we are divinity living in humanity. Psalm 139:6, God says, I knew you before you were in the womb, and your days, I'm paraphrasing, I forget the exact words. Your days were counted for you. So they're for you, they're not to you.
Right.
So I think of it like, imagine that you're in heaven, you're all excited to come to earth, and you're seeing a movie trailer of what you're going to go through. And there's some gnarly stuff in there, right?
There is.
But as a spirit, you're thinking that's the evolution of our soul. I want to go into humanity and live on the physical plane so I can experience the whole spectrum of human emotion. Our spirit doesn't care about our emotional pain. Now, our human mind does.
Yes.
And we get all hung up on it, but this is an evolution of a soul, right? And so imagine that you chose it. God knew you before your days. You had your purpose, and everything that happened to you is for you. And when you find the gift, you can release the pain and find your purpose.
It's interesting that you say that. I was just reading something last night, which is always a reminder. I always love confirmation. But, when people say to me, I need to find your purpose. I need to find my purpose. I need to find my purpose. My answer is always, it's in your fear. You need to face the fear. You need to face and also find the lessons in the stuff that you've already been through. Instead of getting all wrapped up in the emotion of what happened, why did it happen to you? What was it meant? No, I don't mean why like in a victim mean. I mean like it happened for a reason. What was it supposed to teach you? Did you learn anything from it? And if you didn't, you need to go over it again, not relive it, but go through it and say, what am I missing here? There's a lesson in here from from me. And also understand that if you don't step into your fear and if you don't step into your healing, you're not going to find your purpose because that's where it is.
Exactly. Well, Joseph Campbell I'll have to paraphrase this quote, the cave you fear to enter holds your treasure.
Yep. It's absolutely the truth.
Yeah.
The truth.
Well, and another one I'd have, and you're more powerful, is when you move through your greatest fear, you'll experience your greatest love. You can't experience the greatest love until you go through your greatest fear. Because the greatest love's on the other side, right? And that's when everything clears out. So
absolutely, you got to walk through the darkness to get to the light. It's just just the way that it is.
Lots of mantras there.
Tons, but they're true. They're true. So to give you all who are listening something to contemplate and to think about. So besides all the stuff that you said, we've already said, and all the beautiful mantras that we've given everybody, what is your favorite tip or strategy to give to someone?
Favorite tip is, we're here to take the 18-inch journey from our mind to our heart. And when we can live from our heart, how do you do that? How do you get out of your mind? So prayer and meditation, I would say meditation, and people are like, well, I don't meditate very well. How do you quiet your mind? Well, you quiet your mind by feeling your body. And you know how to feel your heart because you do it all the time. You can, it's people walk around in pain. Like I live down by the beach, so you walk around, you may be depressed, you're stuck in your problems, and you don't feel like you have any love in your life. But then somebody walks by you and they have this cute little puppy. And then all of a sudden you're down on your knees, petting the puppy, giving it tons of love, right? Oh, where did that come from? I thought you were depressed. You know what I mean? What do you focus on? And then you're like, oh, your puppy's so cute. God, I love puppies. Love them. Then you get up and you're depressed again. It's all a choice of what you're focused on. So when you get out of your mind and you move into your heart, and when that becomes the most important aspect of your day, and you can repeat that over and over and over again and remind you that that's all you have. Anything else, you're spending finite moments of your life that are more meaningless. If you want to have the most meaning, just love yourself and love others. It doesn't matter what happened or what you did. God, if you want to say God, the universe doesn't see your sin. Only humans see their sin.
Yes.
You're sinless in the eyes of divinity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Seriously. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. Awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for being part of the book. It was a nice surprise when I saw you were when you joined us. And just thank you for being part of IAUSM. And thank you for all the wonderfulness that you're putting out there into the world. So that's a great thing. We all have to make our contribution, and we all have to help humanity.
Likewise. And I know you've taken on a big task. You had a vision. It's a huge task. And you've given a lot of people great opportunities. And certainly, it's a huge opportunity for the general public to be in IAUSM and to be able to collaborate with all these great leaders that you've rounded up.
Thank you.
Came to you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thanks, Fred. And I'll talk to you again soon. And thank you all for listening. And see you in the next episode. I never know what to say at the end of a podcast. Is it see you in the next episode or meet you in the next episode of I Got This? Thanks again.